Whenever I went to U of H first day, it was overwhelming for me. I wasn't in the mind frame coming in as perhaps a younger student coming straight from maybe a community college or right out of high school. So I felt like I had a lot of gap years that I had not maybe had math before. So I felt like I was going to be playing catch up right off the bat. But my experience was so positive from day one. I still have friends from when I was in the program that I communicate with on a daily basis. And I think that was key to helping me feel very comfortable throughout my program. I really stayed focused on the last 2.5 years that I had left to complete my degree. So for me, being able to go back and complete that was a lifelong goal that I had always had. I also have 2 children, so it was a goal that I had to have them watch me complete that degree. It was also in the middle of a pandemic where school was out. I had them home watching me do online courses while they were also doing online courses. I also had my fiance, who is a Houston firefighter paramedic, who was like picking up the slack saying, I'm going to work as many hours, as many jobs as I need to help you go and finish your degree. So it was really a family effort. And so I think it meant that much more to me that I couldn't slack. I couldn't put in my full effort and I had to complete it. So this past December 2020, I finished my degree. For me personally, I knew I wanted to complete a degree that I could be a part of the institution. And maybe that's because I have a background working in higher education and it was just something that was important to me. So when I started researching even degree plans, it took me into my mid 30s before I really figured out what I wanted to do. U of H had the HRD program that was really in line with what I had been doing in the last few years at my previous job. I'll be perfectly honest, whenever I signed up for it, I thought I was in the HR management program. I just wasn't fully aware that there were even 2 parts of HR. And so on day one, I was listening to the syllabus of my course and I thought, oh my goodness, I just quit my job and I'm in the wrong degree. So I was a little bit terrified for a moment. But the moment the instructor started talking about what human resource development did, the training, one on one, standing in front of a group and taking a topic and saying, hey, this might not be the most exciting topic, but I'm going to teach you, I'm going to develop you, I'm going to train you. I knew I was exactly where I needed to be and my fears were put to ease. So it was just perfect. I was exactly where I needed to be. I think that it has prepared me in a lot of ways. The current role that I'm in is really a mixture of HR management and HRD. I would say honestly it's more focused on but it's going to allow me to bring in my HRD training where maybe it hasn't been utilized in certain departments or certain areas. And so in my first week with the organization, I had the opportunity to go and meet with different department heads, learn about their different specialties in their areas, work for them in the past, what they would like to see happen. And so just in speaking with them and what could be, a lot of it is training based. So I think I'm going to be able to do a lot with the current role that I'm in that hasn't been done before. Everybody loves what they do here. I came from an organization that was family. I was there for 15 years and I've been here. This is the end of week 1 and I've come into a culture where I feel like that's exactly the same type of culture that I left. And that's what I've been searching for since I've graduated. As soon as I got the job, my son, who, children are sometimes hard to please with whatever it is, my 16-year-old said, so do they still have take your kid to work day? And so to have your children be so proud of where you are and still want to be a part of that, that's the culture that I'm in. And you just can't replace that. I know that it can be frustrating right off the bat. And I know even for me personally, everybody's going to have their own struggles. For me, I looked at it right off the bat. I have 15 years experience. Maybe these organizations are looking for someone younger. Someone younger might look at it and go, I'm younger, they may be looking for someone with more experience. Everyone's going to be in their own mind. Everybody thinks that someone is looking for something else, but at the end of the day, you don't know what an organization is looking for. So take that out of your mind, for one. Two, don't underestimate yourself. I always in my mind would tell myself, you can do so much more than you're doing right now, whether it's in a current role. I've been in roles where I'm like, why am I here? But every one of those positions led me to this role. And I know that now that I'm here, I know this position and the position previously, I would not be in this role had I not had those experiences. So don't devalue anything that you've done previously. I would also say when you're applying for jobs, apply for all the jobs. You're going to get a million rejections. Again, I applied for hundreds of jobs in many different industries, and I would get rejection letters right away. I'd get rejection letters 6 months down the road, or I just wouldn't hear anything at all. And that really, you take hits from that mentally. But you have to remember it's not you. There's so many people applying, but that just means the right fit is coming along. I'll say this, with this current position, I got into this role for applying to a different role that I knew I was underqualified for with a different organization. And I stared at that posting for days going, oh man, that would be a really, really neat place to work. And I kept reading that job description. I'm like, but they're wanting all these things that I know I don't have. And the next day I'd go back and look at it and I'd say the same thing. And then finally one day I was like, you know what? I'm just going to apply for the position. And then I did. And I knew I wasn't qualified for that one, but that company forwarded my information on over to the Rockets. And then that led to a conversation that led to this role. So you never know what's going to come out of an action that you do. So apply to everything. I really do believe that will put you into the role that you're meant to be in.